Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kate. This is Diamond Painting and Dr. Pepper, and today it's time for another WIP and Chat. I am working on Rose Library today, and I am using everything that I was using last week. So I'm still using my Leopard Leatherworks pen that's so pretty, and my Muni Made tray, and I will link everything. I always link everything down in the description too, if you're curious. Anyway, how has your week been, everybody? I hope you guys have had a good one. Mine has mostly been chill at home. I did get my new phone on Monday. It did actually show up, which was good. I am filming on it currently, so I'm curious. I haven't really looked to see, I'm not filming in 4K, but I'm curious if there's any difference from my last phone, even though I'm filming using the same mode and everything. I apologize in advance. There's a lot of stupid cars driving by right now. It's about not quite 5 p.m., which is earlier in the day than I usually film my WIP and Chats. I usually film really late in the evening just because that's when I usually have time. But right now, Casey is out with my dad getting ready for the camping trip they're going to go on in a couple weeks, just picking up some supplies and doing some packing and stuff so they'll be all ready to go. Because next week is Casey's last week of school, and he is ready for summer. But yeah, that's why I have some time right now to work on this. Not that I don't have time when Casey's here, but I try to spend as much time with the boy as I can because it's hard to get his attention lately. He's been pretty closed up in his room most of the time, watching YouTube videos and reading and stuff like that, and just hasn't been super social lately. Although yesterday he came down of his own accord and helped us make dinner, which he hasn't done in a while. We were doing barbecue stuff, and I was going to make potato salad, which I know he doesn't like, but we are also having some other things. But he decided to make his own pasta salad because he loves that stuff. And so we were cooking together, and he even deigned to try my potato salad, which is a big deal for him. And he ate a small bowl of it. So I was super proud of him for trying it. I think he didn't hate it. So maybe he'll eat more of that in the future. It's always good when we can find something to expand his palate, because I can't remember, I think I've talked about this before. He was diagnosed with ARFID, which is avoidant and restrictive food intake disorder. So it's hard to find things that he feels comfortable eating. And so it's always awesome when he is able to try and like something new. And then today, before he left with my dad, he was all active, taking the dogs for a walk, and multiple walks actually. He took them one at a time and would come back and grab another one and out the door. So he's just been in a mood today that I'm not mad at. It's nice to see his face a little more often than we have recently. Although on Tuesday, we did get to go to his last choir concert of the year, which was really nice. He's in the freshman choir, though, so they only got to sing, they sang 3 songs, and then they joined in on the last song, which was a combination of all the choirs. So his school has two beginning choirs, one for the altos and sopranos and one for the tenors and basses. And then they have an intermediate choir for like sophomores and up, and that combines all four. So it's got the, deep voices and the high voices. And then there's a group that does like a cappella and kind of like a glee club thing. And then there's also the big fancy concert choir that you have to audition to get into, and the advanced choir. And the advanced choir actually won first place in state this year, so that was cool. But so all of those different groups were performing, and it was a really, really long concert. And something that they do that kind of drives me a little bit nuts is they have all those choirs perform, which is fine, but then they take time at the end of the concert, the last concert of the year, to like have this whole senior celebration. They brought all the seniors out on stage and had them introduce themselves and talk about what they were going to do next year after they graduated. And then they gave out senior awards and had a whole slideshow of like senior pictures. And then the seniors had this thing where they came on and gave out thank you gifts to like the pianist and the choir teachers and stuff. And they chose to do all of this while they had all of the choirs like up on stage, kind of sitting on the risers to watch. And Casey has some issues with like sound triggers. So there was a lot of applause and cheering and just a lot of noise. And as he's up there on stage, I can see him looking faint. Like he went pale and he's like putting his head in his hands. And I thought he might faint even though he was sitting down, because he has a history of fainting, and just the noise and the bright lights and everything going on and him not being able to escape that situation because he's up on stage in front of people was nearly disastrous for him. And I know that's not normal. And I've taken him to the doctor multiple times for his fainting. And every single doctor has come back and said it's probably that he's not eating enough or drinking enough. And I just don't know that that's 100% it, because like that evening they get fed at these choir performances, and it's always pizza, and pizza is one of Casey's safe foods. That night he ate 8 pieces of pizza, 8 of them. So I know it's not that he was not getting enough food. It's something else. And so I feel like I need to follow up with a doctor again and maybe demand like some kind of second opinion. I don't know. It's just not normal for a teenage kid to be fainting that much. And he didn't faint this time, but it was close. Like I could look at him and tell that it was a struggle. But anyway, even if it wasn't for that, I just feel like it's a little bit disrespectful to everybody's time who doesn't have a senior to have like a concert that's already long in the evening. It started at 7. We were there till 9:30, almost 10. So like a 3-hour concert, and then like add on to the concert part with all of this stuff that has nothing to do with a good many of the people in the audience. Like I don't know these seniors, and they're going to be gone after this year. It just seems more appropriate to do that kind of thing with, like, maybe just the, advanced choir, where a lot of them are seniors anyway, and have a special concert for them and for the parents of the seniors. It just seemed like it was an inappropriate use of time for everyone else who wasn't involved in that. But maybe that's just me being my antisocial, like, introvert self. I was there to see my son's performance, and he sang for maybe 10 minutes out of the whole 3 hours almost. And the rest of the time it was good entertainment when it was the singing, because I love to hear choirs, but I'm sure not everybody who was there to support their kids really is that interested in choir music. They probably are more just there to support their kids, and it just seems rude to me to force them to sit through all of that extra stuff that has nothing to do with them. But I don't know, let me know what you think. Like, I definitely think that seniors deserve recognition and stuff, but I just don't know why it has to be from all 4 grades, and their parents and family members who are there to see a choir concert. I don't know. Maybe I'm just grumpy. Yeah. Part of it, I'm sure, is me worrying for Casey there at the end, because it was a long time that he was sitting up there looking ill, and I was worried what might happen. I'm sitting there in the audience, and I can see, things aren't going well, and I got really concerned. So anyway, that was Tuesday. And then when I got home Tuesday, I just, I finished up some more work, and then it was time to be off work, and I had one of those nights where just nothing seemed like it would be fun to do, and on top of that, I was just sad for no reason. Like, I get that way sometimes where my depression hits, and I want to cry, but I can't put a finger on what's causing me to feel that way. And that happened several times this week. Usually it's like, lately it's been fewer and further between than it used to be, luckily. But it's been happening more recently than I prefer. And it's been causing my insomnia to act up too. Like, I have trouble getting to sleep because I'm lying there thinking about how I'm behind at work, and I'm not pulling my weight around the house because I'm trying to keep up with work, or I wake up too late because I can't fall asleep, and then by the time I have time to work on house stuff, everyone else is asleep, and I worry about waking them up, being noisy, and just, I feel like I'm a failure sometimes in all aspects of my life. And I know that's not the case. It's just the depression talking, but sometimes it's just like, feels like it comes at me all at once. So I have to try to use positive self-talk to, talk myself down. But at the same time, it's hard to do when logically I know what's happening, but emotionally I can't stop from feeling the way I'm feeling. So gotta love depression, guys. And I don't know how much to talk about that kind of stuff on my channel. Like, I mentioned it a little bit, in clips in my vlog for this week, but I don't want to talk about it too much because I feel like it's a downer, and I don't want my content to not be enjoyable because I'm talking about stuff that's kind of sad. So it's always a weird balance to walk because I want to be genuine and authentic in my personality and what's going on with me. And I don't want to put out this face like I'm happy all the time if I'm not. I don't want to be just disingenuous that way. So, yeah. So it's a balancing line that I'm trying to find still. I also think it's important to talk about mental health and to not hide it away, because a lot of people go through similar things, and the more that we talk about it, like, as a collective, the less taboo it is, and that's just good for everybody involved. So definitely reasons I feel like it's important for me to talk about when it happens. But and then on Thursday, like, something happened that legitimately made me sad and upset, and then that adds to it when I'm already feeling down. When something legitimately happens to make me feel down, it just kind of compounds on itself. So I don't really want to talk too much about what happened Thursday, but it was a situation that made me feel invisible and kind of useless, I guess, in an area of my life where I typically feel like I'm successful. So that added to the difficulty, because I was already feeling this week, for some reason, like I don't have enough worth. And that situation that happened made me feel even less useful, you know? So, or at least it, like, insinuated that people who I thought would respect something I did don't necessarily. And that makes it, I don't know. And it was kind of a blow, I guess. And it's not something that anyone did to me personally, but it kind of felt like it was. So, I don't know. It was just a rough mental health week. And I mean, even so, I have a lot of friends, like in Sophie's Discord group, and like Katie, that I can talk to, who did help me feel better. But I also have this thing where, like, if nobody already knows that I'm upset about something. Oh, you know what? I just used the wrong color on a lot of things. If nobody already knows that I'm upset, I generally don't reach out to tell people about it when I'm going through it. And I know that that's a thing that I should work on. But I also feel like people have their own stuff to deal with, and that I don't need to be adding to their problems with my own problems. And excuse me while I remove all these drills I put on that were the wrong color. So yeah, I don't know. I just, like, no matter how close I get to somebody, I feel like I have no right to burden them with my own insecurities. It just feels wrong. So, was this the wrong color? No, that was correct. Okay. So then what ends up happening is that I just deal with it by myself and feel sad that there's nobody that I feel like I can talk to during times like that. Which I did used to have friends when I was younger where we could tell each other everything and it was expected. You know, if you were going through something, you went to your friends and you told them everything that was going on with you, and they not only expected it, but they wanted to be there for you. And I'm not saying that my friends now don't. I'm saying something changed in my brain to make it seem like that was no longer appropriate. And I think what probably happened is I had a really, really good friend. I'm trying to remember when it was. It was probably like 13 years ago. And we were the kind of friends where you woke up in the morning and you started talking to them. And then, you just talked throughout the day, even if they didn't live close, and she didn't live close. And you talked about just everything. You talked about what you were doing right then. You talked about anything that you were sad about or worried about. You talked about everything you were happy about. And they just knew everything that was going on with your life. And if they didn't hear from you like they thought they should, they were contacting you. And and it wasn't a 'cause we have to, it was because we want to. Like, we are that close that we just really want to spend that much time talking to each other. And this friend that I had, we were that close. We were very, very close. And then randomly one day, she just stopped talking to me. And I still, to this day, don't know why. I know that she is alive and everything. But she just wouldn't respond to any emails or texts or anything else. And we didn't have like a falling out. We didn't have an argument. I am legitimately in the dark as to what caused this to happen. And I didn't think it could happen with someone with whom I was so close. And so I think it broke me a little bit. Like, ever since then, I kind of feel like if someone I was that close to could just like flip a switch and all of a sudden no longer want to talk to me, then really no relationship I have, except maybe with my, my kids and my family, is immune from that. And I have been told in the past by, partners and stuff like that, that I used to overshare and be over emotional, and it was too much for other people to handle. So I don't know, maybe that's what happened with this friend. But I did used to be very open and very heart on my sleeve, I guess, with people I was close to. And that has now changed, and now it's very difficult for me to communicate with anybody, no matter who they are. And so I've gone to the other extreme, which I know is not ideal either. But at the same time, it's hard to know. It's not like there's a line in the sand to show you where to stop. Like, there really isn't anything that you can turn to say, okay, sharing this is fine, but sharing this is too much. So I'm extra cautious, and I tend to only share, I don't know, like, if somebody just happens to already know of a situation that's pretty clearly upsetting to me, I'll talk about it with them, because it's not a surprise, I guess. Like they would understand why I'm talking about it, and I don't have to explain it all, I guess. But if I'm just going through something, I'm really not going to talk to anybody about it for the most part. I might say, I'm not feeling the best today, or I'm having a bad mental health day maybe, but I'm not going to go into details really. And sometimes that's hard. It's hard knowing that there's nobody that I can turn to when I'm feeling really down that would accept a call from me at any hour of the day. And be more than willing to talk me through something, or no, I'm not saying there isn't anybody who would be willing to do that. I'm saying there isn't anybody I feel like I can put that on. Whereas in the past I have had friendships where I have felt perfectly comfortable doing that. And maybe it's not something that, I don't know, maybe it's not something anyone should feel comfortable doing, I don't know, guys. You read about these friendships in stories, or you see them in movies where they're so close like that and they can share everything and they're there at the drop of a hat for the other person. And I just sometimes feel like there's nobody who cares enough about me that we'd have a relationship like that, Like, I'm always defaulting to, I probably like this person a lot more than they like me. And I don't necessarily think that's true. I think that's my insecurity, and I think that's my bad experience from this kind of, frankly, traumatizing time where someone I thought was someone who had my back just left for no reason. So now I have like abandonment issues and like all this stuff that I don't know how to deal with really. But yeah, it's hard for me to trust that the people in my life are gonna stick around, even if I have no reason to think they won't. I didn't have any reason to think this friend was gonna suddenly stop talking to me either. Like, if we'd had some kind of an argument, I think this would have been easier for me to understand. But yeah, there was nothing like that. So now I'm always like reading into people's actions or some of the things they say. Like my friends and loved ones, I'm always overanalyzing what I've said or how I've acted, and asking myself, is this something that might push someone away if you say that? Or is this too much for someone else to handle? And should you keep that to yourself? And it's a hard way to live because you're constantly second guessing yourself, And I know it's not something I probably have to do or should do. It's just something that my brain does nowadays. And it's not even like this friend was not the only one to do something similar to me that kind of came out of left field and took me by surprise. So I've had a couple of things like that happen in my lifetime, and I've tried to make sure and remain open to new relationships and stuff with people because I don't want to miss out on knowing people. But at the same time, I can't help that I'm a little bit more closed off than I used to be. And I kind of hate it because I'd prefer to be like an open book and really engaged with people and really open to people. And yet I just can't, I don't know. I feel like it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. The fact that I'm more closed off makes it so I'm less likable. And so people don't see me as a good friend because I can't open up with them, So I don't know. You guys are getting the full story here, but basically, I don't know if anyone else has felt that way, but you're not alone. And I wish I had answers for how to make that better, but I don't as of yet. I'm still working through it. So I've spent a lot of time this week, since I was feeling so down. I was listening to audiobooks and watching shows to kind of try to escape and distract my mind. So I finished Divine Rivals, and it was a really good book. I kind of wasn't expecting it to be the kind of book it was, but I was pleasantly surprised by what it was about and how it kind of went. And I'm excited to read... Damn it, I'm doing it again, guys. I'm putting the wrong color down on the wrong symbol. Anyway, I'm excited to read Ruthless Vows, I think is the next one. It's a duology, so that'll be the last one in the series, and it's kind of nice because I've started a lot of series recently and read the first book and then stopped. So I need to finish something, I think. But yeah, that's going to be the book of the month for June. Ruthless Vows is going to be the book of the month for June for Sophie's Discord channel, Crafter's Den. And I don't want to start it until after we have the discussion for book 1, which I think is going to happen. It was going to happen today, actually. Today's Saturday, as I'm recording this. It was going to happen today, but it looks like it might get postponed to either tomorrow or Monday. So after we have that discussion, then I feel like I could start the next book. I just don't want to confuse anything that happened in the first book with anything that happened in the second for our discussion. So I'm going to wait. And so in the meantime, I started the 3-body problem. And I don't think I can say the person's name. It's like Cixin Liu or something like that. It's a Chinese name. It was written by a Chinese author. And then it was translated. So I don't know how to properly pronounce it, but I'm only like a fifth of the way in so far, and I'm struggling a little bit with the narrative style, and I don't know if it's the author's narrative style or like the translator's, but I'm starting to, and the other part is that the story is kind of meandering its way in, so it's a slow start, but I am enjoying it. It's about like revolutions in China, and right now it is, and about scientists unaliving themselves because they have discovered something about physics that kind of shook their world and made them think of things differently, and I guess that caused them to feel like their lives were pointless. I don't know. We're just starting to get into that part of things, and so I'm not sure what it's all about yet, but I know that it's a show on Netflix, and from the trailer of the show, I know that it gets into some real science fiction-y kind of things that I am very interested in. So I'm excited to get to that point in the story because that hasn't happened yet. We've done a couple of, like, the story starts out in 1967 and 1969, and now we're up into like the 2000s after a time skip, and we're with different characters now than we were in the beginning. So it's a lot to kind of adjust to at the start of a book. So I'm waiting until we get into the real good stuff. And I know it'll probably all be important for when we get there, but it's hard to start a book that way and really get into it. So yeah, I'm excited to see where it goes and see what I think, because I'd really like to watch the Netflix show, but I really wanted to read the books first and not get spoiled for the books by watching the show. So that is why I'm working on that one. But pretty soon I'll probably also start Ruthless Vows. They're both pretty, like, the 3-Body Problem is only like a 12-hour audiobook, and I read on ×2 speed, so I'll get through it pretty quickly, and then I can move on to... There's just so many series that I've started that I want to continue. There was that one by Nora Roberts that I talked about a while ago, and I'd really like to continue that one because I really enjoyed it. And then I just finished Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, and I'd like to continue that series. And I'd need to keep going with my reread of the Stormlight Archive because, I have about 6 months until the 5th book in that series is released. Actually, Brandon Sanderson just updated on his social media that he officially has finished it and turned it in and everything, so that's exciting. It's all getting produced now so that it can be ready to release on December 6th. I'm very excited. So yeah, just lots I want to read, and that's only, a few of them. I feel like my to-be-read list is very long. I've also been reading off and on a physical book that I borrowed from my son, and it's called Date Me, Bryson Keller. And it's just a cute little, like, LGBT romance. And I'm having fun with it. It's cute. So I don't read physically very often, but since I have this book physically, I'm trying to get through it that way so I don't have to spend an Audible credit on it and everything. And I'd like to make sure and return it to Fletcher at some point. I have some books I borrowed from my sister-in-law, Katie, that I need to read and get back to her because I've had them for quite a while at this point because I just don't read physical books that often. So I need to respect other people's things and get them back to them. I just have trouble finding time to sit down with a physical book because there's so many other things I want to be doing with my hands and eyes and stuff at the same time, and that's why I love audiobooks so much. But then I've also been watching a show this week that I found when I got my new iPhone. They sent me another 3-month free subscription to Apple TV. And they have some good shows on Apple TV. So there's this one I've been watching that I didn't even know about till I was browsing on there, but it's called Shrinking. And it's got Jason, I want to say his last name is pronounced Segel, but he played Marshall in How I Met Your Mother, and he's an executive producer for the show, and he also stars in the show as the main character, who is a psychologist. And when we start the show, it's been about a year since his wife passed away in a car accident, and he's got a daughter, and he's not doing a very good job keeping it together, which is kind of an understatement. But the show's about him trying to get his life back on track and start being a parent again, and a good therapist again and everything. And it's kind of a comedy, but like a drama comedy. And it has Harrison Ford in it, which is another reason that I was really wanting to watch it, because I love Harrison Ford. And Harrison Ford's character is like his mentor at this cognitive behavioral therapy office that they run. And his character is just so good. But yeah, really enjoying that show. I have 2 episodes left in the first season, and I don't think there is a second season yet. I don't know if there are plans to make one or not, but I recommend it if you guys have Apple TV and you haven't watched it. It's good. It's very like adult, so I wouldn't watch it with kids, but yeah, funny. I like it. Funny and sweet. I actually couldn't sleep last night again and forgot to set an alarm for the release this morning for Diamond Art Club, and I was so happy when I woke up. Well, first I scared myself because I woke up and I looked at my phone and I thought it said 2:59 p.m. You guys, I thought I slept till 3 p.m. But no, it said 12:59 p.m., which is still later than I usually get up. I usually get up around 11 or 12, but not that much later because I stay up till pretty late. But anyway, I was like, oh shoot, I don't know if the kit I want is going to still be in stock because this is the first time that a Maddie Arts kit has been released, and I really love her artwork, and I wasn't exactly sure what the response to it was going to be, but luckily it was still available for me to add to my cart, so I was able to get that one. I did also want the Margaret Morales kit, but I decided to try and be good and wishlist it because I've been spending a lot of money lately, and I know that there's going to be a lot of people who want that one. It was surprisingly still available when I woke up at 1 p.m., but I figured I'd leave my copy there for someone who wants it more urgently than I do, because I know I'm not going to work on it anytime soon, and I have a pretty good idea that that one will be restocked in the future, just because I know Margaret Morales is pretty well loved by the community, so I feel like they wouldn't do just one run of it, but I don't know for sure. I do work for Diamond Art Club, but I'm not in on that side of things, so don't take anything I say as gospel, but I just felt okay rolling the dice on this particular one to get it later. So I also was interested in the Sarah Mustafa one and the Nathaniel, oh shoot, I forgot his last name. The one with the landscape with the waterfall and stuff. He also did magic potions. I really like his artwork. But I was able to restrict myself to just buying one this time, and I'm proud of myself, but I'm also like anxious about missing out on the ones that I didn't get. So, but I have plenty of a stash to keep me going for plenty of time where I can pick those up at a later date, I guess. And if I don't get them, then I will try to be okay with that. But yeah, what did you guys pick up this week, if anything? I really liked a lot of the releases this week, so it was a tough one. I did get in the mail yesterday, my Pride kit arrived. I got the Everyone is Welcome Here kit by, I want to say, Cynthia Frenette. I could be saying that wrong. So I did a mini unboxing for my vlog that's coming out on Tuesday. And I think I will try to maybe do that kit this month for Pride Month kit, because it's kind of a snack size, and I feel like I could potentially knock it out this month. And it's been a while since I feel like I had a finish that was that quick, other than like my Scooby kit that was the 9x9 size. So that could be fun to just do a quick little Pride kit for this month. So yeah, I might do that. But other than that, guys, I think that's about all I had to update you on for this time. So I will move to yay or nay for the week. And last week's question was a doozy. It was pineapple on pizza, yay or nay? And I was kind of surprised by the results, you guys. The majority of you said yay, pineapple on pizza. It was 12-5. So a little over twice as many of you prefer pineapple on pizza, which I was kind of shocked by. My answer is nay. And it's just because I have a lot of trouble with anything that mixes fruit with meat. And that's just a me thing. But like sometimes there's those like chicken apple salad sandwiches, you know? I can't stand anything like that. Or like even cranberry sauce with turkey. Like I don't want meat and fruit. It's almost like the fruit is tainted by the meat or vice versa in my brain. I don't know what it is, but that's a nay from me. But you guys are all for it for the most part. So you surprised me. Tanya at home said, pineapple on pizza is a yay for me. Sweet and salty? A yes, please. And Elizabeth Peterson said, yeah, I absolutely love pineapple on my pizza. I have food allergies, so I can't have tomatoes on my pizza, so pineapple is one way to get some flavor on it. And I love to just eat pineapple. I get that. Yeah, food allergies do make things hard, and I can understand, like, wanting to get some of that acidic flavor. Because, like, tomatoes technically fruit, yes. But culinarily, they're often used in more of a vegetable way. So I can handle tomatoes with meat, like in pasta sauce or on pizza, etc. But for me, pineapple's a no. Angie says, nay, just cross to have warm cooked fruit on salty savory. Yes, that's another thing is like the pineapple it gets all like mushy and warm, and that's just not how I enjoy my pineapple. Like I want my pineapple to be cool and crisp, and yeah. So that's another part of it too. Jackie's Crafty Time says, nay, pineapple never goes on my pizza. But if someone likes it, that just means we order another pizza. I've tried picking it off, but I swear the flavor bakes into the pizza. Yes, see, that's another thing, like for me, if someone gets pineapple on the pizza, even if I pick it off, I can taste the juice that like went down into the cheese, and it's just a no-go for me. I don't know. And Susan H. says, regarding your yay or nay question, my answer would have to be nay. I've enjoyed a slice of dough with sauce, pineapple, and ham, but to me it isn't really pizza, and I would not order it if I was craving pizza. All right, you guys, there you have it. As for this week's yay or nay, this one is diamond painting related, and I'm curious, are you someone who likes to add a lot of extra bling to your canvas and kind of make it your own, or do you prefer to mostly do your canvases as charted? So yay if you like to add a lot of extra bling, and nay if you prefer doing things as charted. Let me know down below and we'll talk about it next week. So yeah, guys, thank you for being here. I appreciate you, and I will DAC you in the next video. Bye, everybody.